All right. Thank you so much, Jason, for joining us here at the Chamber for this. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Lonnie, who is our Chamber President. And we also have Shaylee. We're joined by Shaylee, our Vice President, Shaylee Bryant.
Cool. All right, Jason, thank you for joining us. As you may be aware of, the Moab Chamber of Commerce has the interest of local business at heart. All of our questions we have kind of based around business related answers is what we're hoping to hear from you. We do hope that you can give us a little bit of an insight on what your thoughts are on how business is going forward in Moab. So with that said, Lacey's going to ask you 5 questions. You're going to have 2 minutes to answer each question. And then I have a little bonus question at the end. So
bonus question. All right.
Bonus question.
My favorite ice cream.
Yes. Okay, so first of all, let's just give you a couple of minutes, Jason, to introduce yourself to our members and whoever else might watch this.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on here. I appreciate it. Excited to be here. First of all, my name is Jason Taylor, and I came to Moab in 1995, and I came as a river guide. You know, I was looking for a summer job, and I moved down here from Utah Valley, and started coming down here guiding and driving a bus on the river road, and kind of working in the guiding industry, which kind of led into doing 4x4 guiding and kind of doing hiking, whatever. You know, I kind of did that, and then I'd go back up to Utah County and go to school in the winter. I got married in '97, and my wife and I decided that we wanted to move to Moab full time. So we moved down here, and we've been down here ever since. I've worked for a couple different outfitting companies here in town, and I'm currently for probably about the last 18 years, roughly. 19 years I've been with Western River Expeditions and the Moab Adventure Center, and which has been a great job. I've loved living here. During my time here, I've had the opportunity to work on a lot of boards. I've served on the Travel Council board. I've been on the chamber. I've been on the chamber board. I was president of the chamber for a couple of years, and then I've also worked with EMS for about 12 years. I was a EMT, an advanced EMT for them, and I've just really grown to love. I'm now raising 3 kids here in town who go to school here, and then my wife also works for Western River and the Moab Adventure Center as well, as a clothing buyer. So I've just really had Moab and really come to love the town and be a part of it. And I think this is the next step, is I just want to be a part of the city council to kind of see where Moab's going in the future.
Thank you. Awesome. All right. So the way this is going to go, I will ask the question and just have you answer. I'll set that timer. Do you want me to give you like a 10-second warning, or do you have the timer there that you can see?
I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Okay. So first question, what role do you think our local government should play in the growth and development of local businesses?
Okay. I think the local government should play a role. You know, I think that they should make it, you know, local businesses are the lifeblood of any community. You know, they're the ones that are hiring people to work here. They're the ones that are helping the locals to put food on their table, you know, and to be able to live here. And I think that businesses need to be able to rely on local government to facilitate policies and laws and procedures which help businesses operate in this town. You know, I think that every city and town is going to have businesses that they want to come in, and then maybe those that don't fit into the city structure. And I think that the city needs to be very open about that, but those businesses that do employ people and then provide good quality jobs to locals and the local economy, I think very much so that the city needs to be an advocate for those types of businesses and be an advocate for helping the local economy and these businesses get on their feet and get going and have the resources that they need. So, yeah. But I also think they need to stay out of it to some extent and let businesses operate the way they should.
All right. Thank you. Next question. Given the recent budget deficit discussions at the city, what are your ideas on how to optimize the budget to benefit our community now, as well as set us up for the future?
Okay. Well, I think that this has been a very hot topic lately, and I think that the city needs to prioritize what it needs to accomplish in the next 10 years. And there are things that are going on in the city, such as we do have failing water lines, we do have failing sewer lines, and we need to come up with a plan on how we're going to fix that stuff and how we're going to update our infrastructure so that we are ready for the next 50, 60 years. And the budget is definitely a big part of that. I think that that we need to look at government funding, government grants, to see if there's any money out there to help us with this. I think as much as possible, the city needs to rely on the funds that it has, that it needs to budget accordingly to put money away to help fix these items. I don't know that everybody in the city is against having an imposed property tax if they know that tax is going for infrastructure. And I'm definitely opposed to any sort of tax that's going to help support, or help remedy tourism related costs. I think those need to be paid for by tourist taxes. And the locals, but the locals maybe need to help pay for infrastructure. And I think most locals are willing to do that if they know that it's going to sidewalks, sewers, water lines, and that sort of thing, and not to high wages of city employees and things like that. So I think that we need to stay within our budget, and we need to plan for long-term infrastructure repairs.
Thank you. All right, next question. Okay, in the business community, we are seeing similar problems with commercial space as residential in terms of affordability and availability, making it difficult for new and/or diversified businesses to establish themselves. What are your thoughts on possible solutions for this issue?
Okay. Moab's a small town geographically, and it's very so we don't have a lot of just raw land, and we can't expand. We can't expand unless we tear down these canyon walls around us and improve land. So it is difficult to establish businesses. I think that what we can do is, we need to start looking at developing Spanish Valley a little bit more and developing the corridor, and maybe the city needs to look at annexing, further south and further north, and setting up enterprise zones or setting up commercial zones on either end of town, and maybe looking at changing the commercial zoning in areas where they are high traffic areas and high areas that could be used as commercial zoning, years down the road, or soon. But we definitely have a land problem in this town, and I don't know that there's a way we just can't magically create more land. And so I think we need to look at ways that we can rezone commercial land, either going north or south from Moab.
All right, thank you. Next question. In our city, there are divides between opinions, particularly around our economy. How have you found compromise and built unity in the past? And how do you plan on doing that in the future, specifically with economic growth of Moab?
Okay. There's definitely opinions, with our economy. That's a good question. That's a great question. I think that we need to need to work together to diversify the economy. But I think that diversifying the economy is going to come at a cost at one group or another group, and I think that that's where we're going to need to try to find a compromise. First off, I think we need affordable housing. Because right now we have limited number of people that can work, and those people that are working, we have a lot of people who come in, they want to start businesses, they want to work for other companies, and they want to do other things, but there's the big stop is they can't find housing, so they end up leaving and going other places. And so as we try to diversify the economy, we need to have room for people to come in and work. And right now we don't have the base of that taken care of yet. We don't have the needs of those that want to come to town or that are in town to have sufficient housing. And I think that once we can take care of that, then we can start broadening our economic growth, because we can know if we start this new industry that we do have the workforce, and the workforce has a place to live to help diversify the economy. But without having a workforce set up and a place for that workforce to come from, it doesn't do much good to diversify the economy if we don't have a place for them to live or to set down roots.
All right, thank you. And then the last question, you touched on this a little bit. Economic diversification of Moab's tourism-based economy has been the topic of many local government discussions. What would be your approach to diversification in relation to the current established industry?
Okay. No one's going to argue that tourism is the base economy, and I think that we talk about trying to diversify it, and but right now, like, there's so many people who rely on tourism. I mean, every single person. I mean, I could probably name any company in town, and they have some sort of tie or some sort of something that is tied into the tourism economy. Whether you're a bookkeeper, a police officer, an EMT, someone that works in the emergency room at the hospital, all these have some facet of them that deals with the tourism industry, that draws a revenue from that industry. So I think that you can't just cut off the tourism industry without it affecting people and taking people's jobs away from them, and so I think we need to be very careful on how we diversify the economy, and realize that there's this other segment out there who's relying on it. If you cut tourism, even though we want higher paying jobs or whatever like that, that when you cut out these tourism based businesses, someone's going to end up paying the benefit from it, and it's that class of people, which is all of us, who can't afford to lose that income, no matter where we are, in the ladder, or of how much we depend on it. I think we all depend on it to one extent or another.
Thank you. All right, so that is it for the questions that I have, and I'm going to turn the time over to Lonnie for a bonus question.
All right, Jason, in a minute or less, tell us why the business community should vote for you.
I think the business community should vote for me because I'm very pro-business. I think the business community small business is the heart and soul of America, and I think small business is the heart and soul of this town. And we need people who are representing small business at the local level and at the government level. I have, 3 businesses here in town that I own. I'm very pro business, and I think that that I'm the one that could really represent the business community in Moab. And I have the business community's interest at my heart and stuff and what I do. So please vote for me.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, Jason, we appreciate your time.
Yep.
And I'll let you know when we get these out to our members and where you can watch them and all of that. And just let us know if you have any questions, and let us know what the chamber can do for you also.
Thanks. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all your help, and let me know if I can do anything else for you guys.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks, Jason.
Hey, thank you. Okay, bye.
Yeah.